As you go through the book, you can read about the projects that you'll be creating, the various examples that you'll be going through. I'm not going to review the book itself. I will just be reviewing the code examples and talking through, giving some advice and general, humor, as it were. So you can take time to read through the book itself. It has some interactive questions, things that you can do to click and drag and kind of check your answers. So I would encourage you to go ahead and do that. But for my course, I'm not going to reference the book that often. So let's go ahead and close that out and close out of iBooks. All right, so you're all set. If this is the first time you're running Xcode, what I'm going to do is double click to open the Playground Basics, and that will launch Xcode automatically. If you are running it for the first time, you may see that it'll ask you to install some additional components. Go ahead and do that and click through those. You may need administration rights in order to install that on your Mac, so be aware of that in case you need to ask someone to give you permission on the computer. Okay, so we double click Playground Basics. I'm going to expand this so we can see it a little better. Now, my text, I have this set up a little larger so it's easier to see on the screen. Your text may be a little smaller, and that's okay. Now, this is saying, all right, if you can see these dots, you're good to go. If you don't see the dots, it might look something like this. If it looks like this, then they're saying, okay, go to the top menu bar, select Editor, and then Show Rendered Markup. So that's what we want to see, is the rendered markup. Awesome, good job. Okay, let's go ahead and click Next. Okay, what is a playground? That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. Playground is a place where you can write code and then see the results. And so notice here that we have this text, and notice a different color, and I can click and I can actually select it. I can type more numbers, and then it changes. Now notice here to the right, this is what we call the results sidebar. Whenever you have a line of code, and then when it gets executed, it will show a result over here on the right. We'll learn more about this as we go. Okay, let's check out calculations. Now, Playground, it's like a calculator. It's small, it fits in your hand, and you put it in your pocket. Well, okay, in this example, a calculator meaning you can do sorts of things like calculations, plus, minus, multiplication, division, and even grouping. Let's go ahead and change some of these. For example, I can add something here. I can say, hey, let's subtract 230, and then notice how it shows up here on the right. Now, I can do all sorts of things, like I can say, let's start with my IQ and times it by my weight. And what do I get? Oh, wow. That's pretty good. That's impressive. All right. So you can type in values and see how it calculates it. All right, let's take a look at comments. Okay, a comment is like a note. You're leaving a note for yourself. You're saying, hey, this comment relates to this code that's next. Notice it has 2 slashes. So when there's 2 slashes, anything on that same line gets ignored by the compiler. And notice that even if I add more stuff, this is ignored as well. And notice how it doesn't resolve anything there. Comments, you can comment out code, meaning this line right here is not being executed because it has the 2 slashes, meaning it's been commented out. So if I delete those 2 slashes, well, look, lo and behold, it shows up and it calculates it. So there's all sorts of things you can do to practice. And notice how, as you comment things out, it removes it from the results, and uncomment, it shows up. Awesome. Okay, let's go and see what happens when things go wrong. What? Programmers make mistakes? I don't know what they're talking about. Me don't make no mistakes, man. Me good. All right. Yeah, don't panic. Don't panic. Where's your towel? Don't panic. Okay. Name that movie. All right. Coding happens. Mistakes happen. Now let's figure out what happens when you see an error. Okay. Notice here on the left, there's this error message. And in this error message, it's saying, hey, what's going on? This ain't right. Well, dividing by 0, that's not right. Let's see what it means. Let's click that. Oh, division by 0. Not going to happen. All right, let's fix that. Let's add a value here and then see what happens. Hey, look at that. Okay, now it's working. I want you to notice something. When you get an error message, let me delete this. Notice down below, when you get an error message, it's saying, hey, this is not resolved. Now, notice this is grayed out. That means it's not working. This shows previously. And let's say I want to add something here and I subtract 5. Well, it's not working because this error at the top is stopping the rest of the code being executed. So let's go ahead and fix this error. Well, lo and behold, it resolves. Now this is working, and guess what? Now this is working here. Awesome, very good. Okay, well that was easy. You got through that without any trouble whatsoever. Okay, it's going to get more interesting as we go. So be sure to subscribe and check out the next videos.